Sparkle Jets. This is our podcast. It's called Best of Friends. Here we go now, yeah!
Hi, welcome to the Best of Friends podcast. I'm Mike from Sparkle Jets UK. I'm joined by Susan and Jamie from the band. Say hi.
Hello, everybody.
And we're here with Rick Hromadka from Maple Mars, Double Knot Spies,
and solo fame,
Ruby Free, and solo
yes.
fame, and dozens of other things probably because he makes an album every 14 minutes. He probably just mixed a new record, earlier this afternoon
Before the bike ride.
It's just rendering right now. He's just it's like, let me do the whole master here. Okay, I got an hour to kill, so why not?
Plus, you'll see his name in movie credits. You know,
That's right.
Yeah, I held his Emmy once. I also saw his Emmy award.
My kids and I have seen his name on the big screen once already this year. I'm sure it won't be the last time.
By the way, that's Rex Broom that you just heard there. Rex from Big Stir Records. Also seated next to him in the studio here, i.e. my living room, is Christina from Big Stir.
Hello.
And so we got the gang all here to talk with Rick about this thing that we just did to his song, amongst other things. It's you want to see Rick?
Mike, can I show him the album cover over here?
That's good. Yes.
Oh my God!
Did you find it? You found it. I was gonna dig that up.
I'm in my skivvies.
I was gonna bring up that story.
I know exactly when that happened.
So do I. It was at the Phoenix Hotel in
San
Francisco.
Hotel. I was like, "Who the fuck is at my door?" Can I say that? I was like,
"You just did that."
At my door. I opened the door.
And the camera crew was there. That was a fun weekend. There's some crazy shit happened, if I recall. I don't want to repeat most of it.
That might have been the weekend. It was one of the times we stayed there where David Perner was checking in at the same time we were from Soul Asylum, and he was there to play
Great American Music
San
Hall?
Francisco Weekly Show?
No, it was at the venue. There was one at East and West. Oh God, I can't remember the name of the venue, but we ended up having beers with him in the courtyard before both of our shows. He was total cool guy.
Well, I don't remember that, so
yeah, I don't think it was during my photo shoot, but another year I was there.
that was the one where there was so many of us at that hotel. I think it was IPO or something, but there was so many LA bands just in that hotel that we took over one of their little crappy ballrooms for the night and just hung out there.
Yeah.
Remember? Like in a circle?
Yeah.
And that's the time where one person grabbed me by the hair and threw me into another person's lap. We don't need to name names.
Right. Hey, I was going to say, Jamie, can you send me that picture? Because now that I'm single, I'm on dating sites. I'll put it on my profile.
Actually, can you send me that photo too so I can put it on my my profile?
Yeah, Jamie's already using it for his.
Everybody in this conversation is now going to look like Rick 20 years ago, according to.
Just put pictures of your beautiful kids on there. That should be selling point enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at the jeans on this guy. Holy crap.
We're about to, I believe, play Sparkle Jets' brand new as previously unheard version of a Double Knot song, right? And talk to Rick about the original version and more stories about those days as we bring them together, bring the past and the present together here on the new album, Best of Friends by Sparkle Jets UK, due out June 30th on LP, CD, and streaming everywhere from Big Stir Records.
Wow. That didn't sound cheesy at all.
Shit, let me try it again. Hold on.
I tried to make connection, she'd never correspond. I thought I was the point man, she thought she was James Bond. Don't mistreat her, try to cheat her, you'll never defeat her. Faster than the speed of sound, she's automatic. She'll take you up, she'll take you down. sound. She's automatic. Within her private sector, she's known as Cat 09. My mission was to make her for the good of all mankind. Was conclusive, lost the trail when she became elusive. Faster than the speed of sound, she's automatic. She'll take you up, she'll take you down. She's automatic. She's automatic. Smarter than Doctor Who. She's automatic. She'll dig her heels into you. Underneath the guise of espionage, find a matter in a Paris queue. My cover when she sabotaged everything that I once wanted to. And when I woke, I wondered if I had lost my mind. This age is gone forever, chasing that female spy. Don't mistreat her, try to cheat her, you'll never defeat her. Try to please her, my hands always round her tight. Faster than the speed of sound, she's automatic. She'll take you up, she'll take you down. She's automatic. She's automatic. Smarter than Doctor Who. She's automatic. She'll dig her heels into you. She's automatic. Smarter than Dr. Evil. She's automatic. She'll dig her heels into you.
All right.
Yay.
Woo, woo.
God damn it! Why can't I write shit like that now?
Oh, you can. And you do.
It's a good song.
You did a great job, guys. Seriously,
Oh,
nice vocal too, Mike.
right on. Well,
Very nice.
it's a good song.
Yeah, I miss that era. Definitely miss that era.
Rick, you want to just say a little bit about the song originally? When
Yeah, I mean, at the time, Double Knot Spies. I mean, I was really influenced at that time by the Replacements and Soul Asylum, and a lot of those Minneapolis bands, but with a Beatlesque vibe. I used to write a lot of songs about women. I don't know why, but and then also the Austin Powers thing was kind of still real popular. So I think that's how that song came about. I was writing about a woman, and I was like, well, what if she was a spy, and I'm also an agent, and I'm chasing her, which turned out to be a fun, a fun story to write. So yeah, that was a fun time. That album, we got really close to get to doing that album on MCA. I mean, we had our manager at the time actually managed Carl Carlton, who had that one hit, Big Bad Mamma Jamma. And so he knew nothing about rock and roll, but he liked us enough to pay for that record. And we got close, but Andrea Lord Algie, who was the A&R person that we were dealing with, actually walked away from the business right when we were negotiating. And then I think she moved us over to her boss, Mitch Brody, but he was already busy with all these other bands. And so we were tired of waiting. We put it out on our own. And then it got re-released out of Japan on Airmail Records, which was kind of cool. So it got released twice.
The shoe phone conspiracy is what we're talking about, right?
Right, yeah.
It's funny. We were just hearing another, either somebody today was telling us the story about they got kind of a deal going with their A&R person quit. Are you guys remembering this? or maybe it's the Big
I'm
Star
sure
story.
it happens all the time.
As I was watching
Yeah.
the Big Star documentary this morning, maybe it was in that.
We couldn't hear the Shazam interview. Was it during that?
Oh, I think it was the Shazam
That
interview.
makes sense. Yeah.
We didn't have sound.
They had a similar thing going on with the record they were working on, and they got some major label interest a couple different places, and the A&R guys that wanted them got fired or quit right before it all got finalized. Gotta love that.
Oh, I loved your record. When the first time I heard that song was on the IPO compilation, and I was driving down the street, and as soon as that came on, I pulled off the road so I could turn it up as loud as my stereo would go, and just was rocking to it.
He was rocking the Taurus car stereo.
Exactly.
Isn't that a Ben Folds song, "Rockin' the Taurus"?
No, that's cool.
We should probably say too, for folks that are tuning in, have maybe heard this song just now, and they know that we're talking to Rick. This is and they might be looking for the original material that we're talking about. This is the Double Knot Spies material, and that's right, isn't it? Yeah, this is all Double Knot Spies stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then of course subsequent stuff that Rick's done has been with mostly with Maple Mars, also with Ruby Free, and his solo stuff. So it's all kind of parceled up there if you know where to go looking for it. And we are going to hear the original version in a minute, aren't we, right?
You can hear a piece, yeah. Here it is.
I tried to make connection, she'd never correspond. I thought I was the point man, she thought she was James Bond. Dove and street her, tried to cheat her, never defeat her. That's what them the speed her sound, she's automatic. She'll take you up, she'll take you down, she's automatic. Within a private sector, she's known as Cat of Nine. My mission was to make her for the good of mankind. Was inconclusive, lost the trail when she became elusive. That's what then the speed of sound, she's automatic. She'll take you up, she'll take you down, she's automatic. She's automatic, smarter than Doctor Who. She's automatic, dig her heels into you. Underneath the guise of espionage, violent matter and a Paris cube. Will my cover when she sabotaged everything that I once wanted to. Lost my mind. This agent's gone forever, chasing that female spy. Don't mistreat her, try to cheat her, but never defeat her. Tried to please her, my hands always wound up tight. Faster than the speed of sound, she's automatic. She'll take you up, she'll take you down. She's automatic. She's automatic, smarter than Doctor Who. She's automatic, dig her heels into you. She's automatic, smarter than Dr. Evil. She's automatic, dig her heels into you.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I love that slide guitar explosion thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Dude.
recorded that song up at the House of Blues studio in the Hollywood Hills. But the guy was one of the owners of the House of Blues, and it's so crazy. The studio was amazing, and I guess Chili Peppers are recorded there, and a whole bunch of bands. And he let us use the pool, and then also he had this little shrine, this little place of worship that you had to walk adjacent to the house. You had to walk through this trail. He had all this property. It was so cool. I had a lot of fun recording that record.
Wow, that's cool. I was listening to that and I'm like, there's a 7 chord in there that I missed. So can we pull these pressings? I want to fix that.
Yeah.
That's really pissing me off. That's a really awesome chord.
Coming June 30th, 2025.
Hey, you know
From
what?
Sparkle Jets UK.
I just submitted the song for a film. I just redid the Carpenters' "Merry Christmas, Darling," and so I did my own version of it. And I'm sure I fucked up many chords because there are all these jazz chords, and I'm pretty good at that stuff. But I'm sure it's not perfect. But that's what's good about doing someone else's song.
Yeah.
I mean, you make it your own, and as long as you get it close, you make it your own.
Well, I think it's probably too close, but that's my problem.
It takes the radical move of taking the 7 chord out. You're fine.
Okay.
And that one vocal,
It's a reinvention.
where you're like chasing that female spy. It's like whoa. That was not easy to do.
It's so funny. I haven't heard my version of that song in years, so it's kind of cool to hear it.
You probably don't do it like that either. If you do it,
I mean, we did it. We did a reunion show. I don't know back. No,
I saw it. We were there.
We were there.
Oh, yeah.
I think literally everyone on this call was there. Wait, Mike, did Sparkle Jets play that one? Or was it?
Yeah, I think maybe it might have been the one we did.
I remember
Yeah.
you being in a poncho and then
Oh, well, it was either that or Pop Dudes, but I think it was. I think we played it. Yeah.
no?
Yeah.
All right.
I think
I'm
it
being
might
told
have been.
no.
If it was
I
a
know I've
poncho,
seen-
then it was
saw
Sparkle Jet.
both bands at Molly's during that era at some point, and that would be probably the only Double Knot show for a while, right?
I think it was the same bill, yeah, because I kind of remember doing it. Hey.
Oh yeah. Well, we will never
another
figure
one.
this mystery out. But
We also, as mentioned previous, one of the first places where Susan and I met a lot of these important people for the first time was when we went to I think it was Maple Mars record release, or was it Double Knot Spies record release? Was it a record release show for you guys on the big boat on the?
Yeah, that was a record release. That was that album.
Okay.
That's that. We did that when we were sick of waiting for MCA to make a move. We were like, screw it, we're going to put this on our own, and we did that big boat show. And
That's
the only
what
reason
you do.
we did it there is because a friend of mine had been to a wedding on that boat, and he said, "Oh, you should consider playing there." And so I talked to the Mariners, the people involved, and they were so worried that we were going to be a bunch of kids and just ransack the place. And I'm like, we're all in our 30s. We don't do that kind of thing. And then, of course, there's a big crowd. We had a really good crowd because we had like 5 bands. Did you guys play, Mike?
No, but we had just arrived kind of and started meeting people.
Right.
And Darian, we just met him, and he took me around and introduced me to people. I remember him going, "Oh, see over there, that's Nipper. You need to meet her. Have you met Nipper?" No. Oh, you need Nipper. and a bunch of things of that nature.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a really good. We actually didn't lose money on that, which was nice.
I don't think we'd seen any of the bands that played that day until then. That was the first time we saw them. I think Receiver, which Carrie was in.
Yeah,
and
Piper Downs.
and Masticators. I think that was our first time seeing everybody.
Did anybody else play that?
Did Ken West have a band?
Yeah, it was not Receiver at the time. It was called Kickstand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Same thing though.
There was 5 bands total. So I'm trying to think who else. I think we're missing one band, but
We could always go over to John Perry's website.
yeah, John Perry, I'm sure, has all the pictures. Yeah, that was a fun time, definitely.
Oh, I did. I just Googled Double Knot, Lane Victory, and boom. September 18th, 1999, San Pedro. Great set by our charming hosts. Figuring out what else happened that day would be tricky, but yeah, that's cool. So, and you know what, that reminds me, there was another band around the same time called Double Knot Spy Car.
Right.
And there was another band called Spies, I want to say.
From New Haven, Connecticut, where I grew up, which is crazy.
That is really crazy.
I had already moved away, but I had already moved to LA by the time they were around, so I had no clue. And then Double Knot Spy Car, it's so funny. We actually did a gig with them once at Jack's Sugar Shack, which was really strange.
Well, yeah, you know what? We need to have the sequel for when Sparkle Jets play with Sparkle Jet. That, which that can be made to occur pretty easily because we have all those.
That band was actually really good. They were totally different. They were doing this sort of 60s
instrumental band, right?
Yeah, pretty much instrumental. I think maybe all instrumental from what I am.
I think they're still doing stuff.
Yeah,
too.
and I do think I've seen that they exist too. Yeah,
really good.
And I think they just followed us on Twitter.
Yeah, I got a message from them just the other day.
There you go. They're still doing something.
Yeah, that's great.
And I actually have 2 albums in my archive of theirs and only one of yours. So there you go.
Well, we only released one, and then the second one we also put out in Japan called Solid Goldfinger, and that was just demos. That was just demos from stuff that we didn't release. So just an excuse to put out another album.
And then Maple Mars after that, pretty much right on the heels of that, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference, by the way, just so we know?
Huge difference. Guys in the band, I was going more psychedelic, and I was sort of done chasing the whole, power pop, guitar driven, replacements thing. And I was sort of going back to my roots, which was more, Beatles, Pink Floyd, The Who, and the guys weren't digging the more psychedelic stuff. So I actually quit my own band and I started Maple Mars. But
isn't it a lot of the same guys?
No, not at all. The only guy is Ron, and I didn't start with Ron. I was playing with this guy, Mike Fletcher, at first, who was in a band called Cellophane Flowers during that time period. Really good drummer. I had various bass players, but I had Scott Halper, who had played with Single Bullet Theory. He used to play lead bass. That was his problem. But Ron only came in 2004 when we were going to first tour England because our drummer couldn't make it. So I asked Ron if he could, fill in, and I haven't been able to get rid of him since. So.
I mean, like Ron is so good for that big Maple Mars sound, which is kind of the difference. But Ron's perfect for that.
Well, it's like it's like a basketball team. I mean, they're always switching these players and making trades to try to, get to the finish line and win a championship, in the first year. And the thing is, it takes years, sometimes 2, 3, 4 years for these guys to get together so they can play well together as a team. Yeah. And bands are the same way. It takes time. Yeah. So, I've been playing with Ron for so long. He's like my little brother, I try to, just keep the Rush fills to a minimum, the Neil Peart fills to a minimum. But otherwise, I just let him do what he wants.
But riding that edge is exactly what Maple Mars needs.
Yeah, I know.
Be like just shy of Rush, and you guys are perfect. It's the sweet spot for you.
Well, if I've learned anything about having a band, it's that you could be a dictator to some degree, but what makes a band fun is everybody bringing their own unique styles. And if one guy's a Rush fan, the other guy loves Jethro Tull, the other guy loves Air Supply. Hey, if it all works together and it all jives, that's the magic.
I had a question though, Rick. Is the Double Knot record in print right now?
I have copies. I was selling it on go ahead.
This is both for our audience and also just
I think
us.
you can get it on Amazon, I believe, but they get it through me, and I haven't had any orders in like years. So
is it on streamers?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we're going to put together a playlist of all of the originals of the songs that are on the Sparkle Jets record. But
I still have boxes of CDs of that thing.
Some of them we might have to put into distribution ourselves because they're not in print right now. But if you can stream them, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Awesome.
Pete Magnolano also was the engineer on a lot of that, who also worked with the Wonderments. So Pete was a great engineer, really fun to work with, super nice guy. So and that's actually how I met the Wonderments, through playing shows with Double Knot Spies, and we ended up doing some shows with them after Darian came to one of our shows. I think it was Troubadour.
Mike, I think if we transcribed all the interviews from today, you could do the oral history of the entire LA pop scene. It's with everyone that they're talking to, because everyone.
I've been out here since the '80s, and so the first band was Natural Act, the second band was the Visionaries. We were in the Alternative Power Source, which was before Bubblegum Crisis, which was before. I mean, I feel like an old guy now, but it's and that's where I first met Derek Anderson. We used to play with the Andersons all the time in the Alternative Power Source. They were one of the bands. Jigsaw Scene, Boys Named Sue, the Clowns, and then Perfect, who ended up backing Tommy Stinson. I think it was guys from the band The Clowns ended up, I believe, backing Tommy Stinson from the Replacements and Perfect. So if I'm not mistaken, or maybe that was Nag. Oh, there was Nag 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 too, the other band with CJ, who was also in Green Jello. So yeah, whole history right there.
you were definitely on the scene way before we knew about it.
Yeah, I mean, I met Robbie Rist. I remember meeting him in the late '80s at Madame Wong's. He comes up to me, this dude with this top hat. I think he had Wonder Boy back then. He's like, "Hey, I really like your band. I'm Cousin Oliver."
He actually said, "I'm Cousin Oliver."
No, he did not. But,
okay, as I was going to say, I don't.
No, he didn't actually say that. But
everyone else around him has never had any problem dropping that.
Immediately, someone say, "Hey, do you know who that was?"
Yeah, it happened to us the first day.
Yeah,
I kind of knew anyway, because I had friends that had already. I knew a guy that in the Orange County scene I was playing in, even before I met guys, that was in. I think he was in whatchamacallit? Yeah, 20 Cent Crush. So he would come back and tell me, "Oh, there's this thing going on in LA, and you need to meet these people." And I met Robbie Rist. You know who that is? Blah 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 blah. So I've been hearing about all these people, for a year or two before I actually met anybody.
Right. Well, Robbie was the first one I think I met from the entire scene that turned into this pop scene. I think he was the very first guy, and then I lost track of him for years, and then all of a sudden he popped up, playing with everybody.
Popped up. I see what you did there. That was cool. Sorry, I killed it. I'm sorry.
Rex, we talked about this.
There was a story where Michael popped out of a cake earlier from Lisa Michaels.
Apparently, Lisa Michaels said that I popped out of a cake at her bachelorette party, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have no recollection of this.
But it's now in 2 of these podcast installments, so it's true.
Oh, I'm going to go with it. It sounds fascinating.
It's a great story.
What was I wearing?
Not much. Chocolate cake.
Damn.
Icing.
And people are still talking to me. That must have been incredible.
I mean, I don't know if it was, that picture of Rick incredible, but it's... which is on Jamie's phone, so that needs some explanation
talk about
too.
that.
Yes.
And he so quickly accessed it.
I know. It's like, what do you got? How do you even know where that is, Jamie?
So, Mike, there is a connection with you and Robbie and I, and that is that when I was doing the second Maple Mars album, we did some recording at your house. Do you remember?
No.
Yes. And Robbie was engineering.
That makes sense. Uh-huh.
And I remember he was having a hard time, and I was already, editing, doing the film thing, and I was mainly on Pro Tools, and I had been on the MX24, the Fairlight prior to that, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Why is this taking so long? What are you doing?" And he was working with Logic. That's the first time I'd ever seen Logic, and I remember I downloaded a bootleg copy so I can get all the tracks from Robbie and do it quicker, finish the record because he
was so slow.
He started with Logic too. Well, Logic was super new then, but I think you had Logic.
He brought it.
Oh,
I had a tape system, and then one day, we just had our little Y2K party, which we also talked about, and I want to say might even have been that night that he came over, because we had just talked about it. If it wasn't that night, it was like within a day or two of the party. and he came in with a brand new G3 tower in a box from like wherever he bought it, Apple
Right.
Store or something.
Well, it's so funny because I still use Logic now, Pro Logic.
Yeah, me too.
I love it. It's
Yeah,
like-
it's
Those
awesome.
of you listening in at home, Rick and Mike are discussing what are commonly known as DAWs or digital audio workstations.
Yeah, this is
we now
where
return to
people
the
go-
program. Yeah.
this is where they go to the bathroom.
Yeah, Rex uses Logic as well.
Yeah, this would be like the equivalent of the drum solo, the 20-minute drum solo in a concert.
Yeah. When we say I use Logic, we need to be really clear that that's the DAW and not the discipline.
No, we would be lacking in that.
Yeah, none of us use that.
Yeah,
Ironically, I did switch over to Pro Tools right after he left my studio, and he left along with his computer after about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And I had to I was still kind of rocking PCs at the time. I had my own PC upstairs. And I'm like, well, I need something down there. And I got, I wasn't about to spend the money on a Mac back then. No way. In fact, I still have never really done that, but that's another story.
We end up with them.
Yeah, it works out. Some people get free guitars. I have computers, but I put a PC down there, and I had to. We switched to Pro Tools, and it's kind of fortuitous that we did for about a year and a half because there's a whole period of time where we were making our third album, and it was all done on Pro Tools. And had we done it in an older system, I can't open anything before then, and I can't open anything after then out of the old files I have. But that little year and a half period or whatever it was with Pro Tools, I could still get them open. So that's
So
one
you're
nice
saying-
thing about Pro Tools.
So does that imply that there
It
might
implies
be
that there might be a third album, yeah. But for those of you counting on your fingers, we only have 2 albums out.
Well, this is the
This will
third.
be our third.
Yeah,
You're
so
right.
you're
Oh,
implying
man.
that there's a fourth record
I'm implying
that was going to be the third record originally.
You guys will do one record every 10 years or 15 years.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's going to accelerate. It's going to accelerate at this point.
I don't know. I can't guarantee that, but you never know.
Seems likely.
I need songs.
Well, just keep doing your friends' songs. You guys do a good job.
Yeah. We'll just keep recording all your shit.
Yeah, what's
and
your whole
it'll
thing
be
about
fine.
needing to write songs? You just rip everybody else's songs. You're good. We love it. It makes us sound good
I
too.
don't hear anyone complaining yet, so
No one's complaining.
they're gonna all get off the phone later. I'm like, Jesus Christ, did you do that Sparkle just thing? Oh my God, those people. Can't they write their own shit? I mean, come on.
There might have to be a best friends 2 once this one comes out, and we get a lot of feedback from friends that we didn't cover.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have
That
to
was
do a
the first one's called Best of Friends. The second one's called Friends That Were Pissed Off We Didn't Put Them on the first one.
That's a great title. Great title.
And then there will be acquaintances, and then people that we don't like so much.
People that frankly we could take or leave, and then finally just dicks. You know, that's the last of the like 5-part series.
And then you can do a greatest hit, the best of the best friends, and then pissed off. Yeah, we can just keep going and going.
Greatest dicks, yeah.
Greatest, that's a different.
Greatest dicks of all time.
But like, think about it with the band in there. Sparkle Jets UK Greatest Dicks. I mean,
I can see the art.
Oh, I see you can. It's that picture of Rick again, isn't it?
Kenny, Jamie pulled up a picture on his phone of one time we were doing a little IPO tour, and we were all up in San Francisco, and we all, like, pretty much 30 or 40 of us all stayed at the Phoenix Hotel. And at some point I went over to knock on Rick's door to tell him we were going to hang out or something.
If
And I had my camera, or somebody had their camera, and he answered the door in just his, like, underpants, and he's all like an Adonis.
Hello. And Jamie snapped a picture.
Apparently, someone, either him or me.
And was able to produce it immediately.
Yeah.
That's the interesting part.
It's been produced again.
As if it was like just, in a folder on his desktop or some shit.
like I said, I need that picture for my dating sites.
Send me an email and I'll send it to you.
Oh, I see. Oh, no, wait, hold on. This entire scheme is becoming clear all of a sudden.
Wow.
Well, no, it's so funny because, I've been divorced now for, a couple of years, and these dating sites, some of these women, they put these pictures of themselves up from like 20 years ago. It's like, I don't care what you looked like then. What do you look like now?
All I have to say about that is our album covers from like 1998.
That's okay. You're not going for dates.
And it's also is relevant to the period that the album alludes to,
sort
at
of.
least, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you don't put like, you know, an absolutely now photo on the next, oh wait, I know what the next one looks like. You put the instruments on the cover again.
I only did that one time, and that was Yorktown.
No, you're the one that always says that though. It says like,
Do
you
I?
know, well, yeah, that's not about Sparkle Jets in particular, but like,
yeah,
all,
just
like
people
the
in
extended
general.
family. Yeah. And you're like, there you go.
Well, yeah, nobody wants to see what we look like.
Even older bands that are still playing around, their promo pictures they're about 10 years old.
It's true. Yeah. 10's rational, I guess,
Yeah.
you know,
It's always really fun when you can tell too.
Yeah.
The clothes are a little off. They're still
Like
wearing a cowboy hat when they really shouldn't.
Well, like case in point, I bought tickets to see Tommy James and the Shondells play in Thousand Oaks here because it's so close for me. In
He's
June,
wearing a members only jacket.
yeah, exactly. He looks pretty young. I mean, he's older, but I'm sure that's an older picture. Yeah, I mean, who could blame it? Everyone, you know, everyone's trying to make money. They're all trying to stay current. As long
Tommy
as they
James
can.
has got to be at least 45, right?
Yeah, his book was great. Married to the Mob. Is that what? No. Yeah, it was something along those lines.
Well, Roulette Records wasn't that one of the ones that was had mob ties?
Yeah.
It's a great read. It's actually a really good read.
Yeah, I just read that book about the John Lennon lawyer guy. It was that case where they were in the lawsuit over the Lennon rock and roll tapes. And it was that same guy that kind of ran Roulette, the mobster guy.
Oh, it was Morris Levy.
Yeah, Morris Levy. That's right.
That was the mobster guy.
So Maple Mars just put out a really friggin' great record on Big Stir, actually. And then there was that really cool album that you put out just like a year or so ago, because like
Last
I said,
July.
you put an album out every 14 minutes or so. I'm saying that because I'm jealous.
The solo one?
Yes.
Yeah. The one when you're going to play with me on.
Yeah. He asked me to play bass on something, which really kind of made my day because I love to do that. And it was a whole lot of fun. Kick-ass song, too.
It's going to be a big ensemble that night. I mean, I think everybody that played on the 5 songs that I'm going to play that night, I think I'm going to have pretty much all the original players. So that'll be fun.
When is that, by the way? I want to make sure
I don't know. Whenever Bash puts it together.
For IPPO. Gotcha.
It's August 4th through the 11th. So one of those dates. I don't know.
Yeah, we're all looking at it right now. Yeah, but Mike, you wanted to play one of the Maple Mars records?
Yeah. Which one should I
let the maestro pick one?
I don't. You guys go for it.
What's the thing that I just played on with you? That was, I want to say.
That was from my
Kaleidoscope, Pinwheel. What's it?
That was
Searchlight.
Searchlight. I knew it was something that you would look through
play Searchlight.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, we did a single of that.
Yeah. I'll play the real version.
And you played great bass on that too.
Don't know where I'm gonna go. Don't know what I'm gonna do. Only thing I got is the clothes on my back in my shoes. In my shoes. Wandering through the dense backwood. Wander till the break of dawn. Try to maybe get some sleep if the dragnet's gone. If they're gone. Searchlight's been looking out for me. Searchlight's been looking out for me. The more they keep coming, the more I run for sanctuary. All night, sanctuary. Helicopters raining down. The dogs are pounding yards away. Crawling through the weeds until I can see the sun.
That's really fun.
Yeah, you'd say, how do you like those trippy bits? The two people in like, crazy paisley shirts go thumbs up. So I guess that was like, didn't even need to be said.
It's overproducing. It's the editor part of me, because I've done sound editing for so long that sometimes I get carried away with music. It's like, well, how could I really fuck this up?
Yeah.
in a cool way.
Yeah.
Mike, you played great on that. And it's so funny. I'm listening through my little laptop here, and I can hear your bass lines coming right through the laptop.
Yes. Somebody mixed it real well.
Rick, it's kind of an interesting question. I know we've talked about this in different contexts too, but you were talking about like the feel that made you feel like, you needed to start Maple Mars as opposed to continuing Double Knot. And then you've also talked about that set of songs that's your solo record versus the songs that you were writing around the same time that ended up being the Maple Mars record. Yeah. You just have a really good feel for what's right for what project. You talk about that for a minute. Is it sheer instinct or?
It's an age thing. No, seriously, I've just been doing it so long now. And I know when not to rock the boat, when not to force anything on anybody, and Maple Mars has, it's a vibe, it's a sound, and then the players, Steve Burns, the guitar player in Maple Mars, he ended up in the band the same way Ron did, which is I was doing that tour of the UK in 2004, and the guitar player also couldn't make it, So I got Steve to fill in because Steve had recorded the first Maple Mars album in his apartment, and which Permanent Press ended up releasing. So, and he was a really good guitar player, but he wasn't playing with anybody. So he just filled in, and then he stayed in the band all this time as well. So, that band had a sound. And so when I started doing all these demos, it just made more sense. I could tell the songs that were leaning more towards Maple Mars, and I was like, oh, this would be a good Maple Mars song, and then this will be a good solo song, because I don't like just one kind of music. I like all kinds. I'm doing a song right now that I'm pitching to this movie that I'm probably going to be doing on the side for this producer. That is, actually, I just redid my Maple Mars song from Circular Haze, Good Time for a Friend. Just redid that with my stepdaughter singing it. So I totally made it more modern, sort of a Brandy Carlisle type of song now, with this incredible vocal from my stepdaughter. And then I'm going to do another song that's the total finger picking kind of, folk rock thing for this scene where she's driving through the countryside, almost like a Simon and Garfunkel type of thing. So, I like to, expand and not just be locked into one thing all the time, because it's hard, once you climb that one mountain and you've done it, it's like, okay, well, let's try something else now.
Yeah, that's really true, isn't it? I mean, like I always say, for us, I always think it wasn't so much that we wanted to make an album. I wanted to make a second album.
Yeah.
That's where it gets fun, because you don't have to represent your entire self. You're like, okay, this is the one where we go off and do this. This is the one where we go off and do that. And the band identity kind of starts to write itself.
Yeah.
Which is, I think that's how when you've got a Maple Mars song and, when you've got
it's to just keep rewriting the same song that you've written over and over again. It's just, that's just boring.
Yeah.
When I write now, it's chord changes, especially. It's like, oh no, I'm not going there again. It's like, I want to, figure out something. That's why I love having a piano, because it's like, okay, more black keys. Something to just change it up a bit. So rhythmically too, and lyrically, stop writing about women, ex-girlfriends and ex-wives and divorce, which was pretty much the last two albums I did was all about my divorce. So, You
mean like Bitter Days?
Better Days was basically once I got out of that crazy ass.
That was a good bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Bitter Days. Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
Here, have half my money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
You get a quarter of my money.
Right.
Yeah. If you get divorced more than once, it really starts to get economic shitty, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to speak to that issue personally.
It's good for songs, though. I mean, I think you could write.
Maybe that's my problem.
Yeah.
That's what I need to do.
Well,
I don't recommend it.
going through shit, I think, for me, it was cathartic. Getting, rather than going to a therapist, just write a song. So, you could get it out of your system that way. But, happy people can write good songs too. That you don't have to go through a lot of crap to write a good song. I think, I think it's just literally being able to capitalize on whatever your mood is and maybe turn it into some kind of art if you can.
And stop thinking and just shut everything off. That's my problem. I can't do it.
I don't know. I think you kind of know when it hits, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's not to be forced.
No.
That's the worst thing you could do is just be like, oh, I got to write a song and it's got to be about this, So.
Paul McCartney does that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of people that pick up their instrument and purposely try to write a song a day, or they go through those exercises, and you can easily have something great pop out that way too. I mean, that's what I love.
There's no
music.
rules.
There's no set rules for anything.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own style and their own way of doing it, and even if you have your own style, it's good to change it up. Do something totally the opposite. Instead of driving home the exact same way you drive from work, take a different route. It's the same thing. You got to get out of your own head sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're certainly like, I always make fun of you for writing a new album out every 5 minutes. But so some good or bad, I'm only really happy when I've got something new that I've recorded. So any excuse I can get to do that, I will. Which is why when we decided to do this, I was like, oh, record 20 songs in 2 weeks. Okay, I'll do it in a week and a half. How about that? So it was fun.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing. Who else have you covered?
Oh, I gave you a link.
Are you guys can't say yet?
Oh no!
Oh no! Like this is after we've gone public. The people are going to hear this, so burn them down.
It's a lot. We did.
It is a lot.
We did Walter Clevenger, Masticators, Andersons, Compost,
The Shazam.
Shazam. We did. I'm reading here, but I'm trying to translate the song titles, band names. We did Cosmo Topper, Cockeyed Ghost, Adam Daniel, Candy Pants, The Dawn, Negro Problem, You Guys, Flora Pop,
Plastic.
Sugar, yeah. Linus
Of Hollywood.
Wonderman, Big Hello, Sugar Plastic, Kenny House, and the Seesaw, and Third Grade Teacher.
Oh wow! What song did you do from the Andersons?
No One Writes for Free.
Wow!
From
great.
The second record, or it was.
I'm definitely looking forward to hearing this.
We sent you a link so you can play it as you.
Well, I'm sure I'll recognize a lot of these songs because I've played with a lot of those bands and I had the record. So, which Wonderment song?
In and Around Greg Lake.
Oh, I love that one. It's a great tune.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Oh,
that song really blew me away when I first heard it. I was like, holy shit, this band,
pretty fun.
Yeah. Darian and I, we've talked about it many times, actually, that song. And Negro Problem, too. We did a few shows with them back in the day. I think we played with them at Jack's Sugar Shack and one other place. I love that band, too. They were so good.
Yeah, we ended up doing two of theirs because we couldn't, just one wasn't enough.
And one of them, I was like, God, we were going to do that one someday.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one?
I don't have Spotify, but I'm old school. In my car, I have Pandora. And so I have different stations that I've set up. And one station has like a lot of Wonderments, just a lot of pop bands. And Negro Problem comes up quite a bit. And that one song, Submarine, man, Submarine Down. What an amazing, I never remembered them playing that back in the day. But that song just blew, when I first heard it, I was just, how did I miss this? Great song. What a great writer. Definitely.
Yeah. He's kind of scary. We're supposed to talk to him tomorrow, so I'm hoping.
Oh man, really?
Yeah.
Do you have it on the schedule? Oh wow, okay.
Oh yeah, we're talking to Dawn and the Sugar Plastic and Brad and Chloe tomorrow, and Lisa Genio, Stutzy, and Morley, and it's kind of a crazy day. Probably even crazier than this day, which has already been crazy. We've talked to Hans from the Shazam today. Laura and Sabrina from Third Grade Teacher, Mark and Lisa Flora, Carrie from Compost, and Lisa Michaels, and now guys. So been quite a day. And we're going to try to talk to Kenny here for a sec. He's here.
I feel bad that he had to sit through all this. Sorry, Kenny.
Thank you, Rick. And that was awesome.
Well, thank you. And congratulations on the album. I can't wait to hear it.
All right, man. Well,
thank you so much for including us, including me.
Of course.
Good luck on the tour, Rick.
And Jamie, send me that picture.
If anything goes well, we want to know, man.
Yeah, why don't you just put my picture on the cover?
Can we? Can we please?
No.
It'll say right underneath your picture. It'll say Mike Simmons.
Actually, it was so damn long ago. I don't give a shit at this point.
All right, man.
All right.
Party on.
Thanks for being here, and congratulations on. It's still on the record from last year, and we're just excited to hear this next thing you're working on too. So.
Yeah. I mean, you can't stop.
Never.
You can never stop. It'll just, it's too boring. So you got to keep moving. So anyway, great seeing you, Christina and Rex again, and Jamie, Susan. Take care, guys.
Steve.
You too, Rick.